Hello everyone, I'm Xiao Gang. Let's continue looking at gameplay tags. This section mainly focuses on C++ applications. As you can see, we're now on the 5.4 documentation. We've reached the 5.4 documentation. You can see that within the engine, many concepts have already heavily applied gameplay tags. For example, attributes, like this current cat or enemy, right? Because an enemy definitely has allies, has bosses, has NPCs, and it's a zombie, so it's this person. It describes its movement mode, right? And this describes some gameplay events within the game. So obviously during movement, you have swimming, then you have sprinting, then you have climbing. So it has a layer by layer, a gradual progressive feeling. And over here, it's all similar, more or less the same as we just talked about. Okay, the key is to look at this. This one you can use, the red one inside gameplay tags. And then there are several tags inside. So this tag is actually the same as our declaration. This log, the way this log is declared is the same. That is, you need to declare such a general, declare it. And then you can use it. And this is used when declaring in C++. These three are all very easy to understand. This one is placed in the same file, and this one is placed in the 20cpp file. It is the actual implementation. Compared to the previous one, this one allows writing comments, and this one, it is equivalent to a 2in on A. It is only placed in this source file. That is, it is mutually exclusive with these. And at the same time, this method is only used in this one file. Other files will not use it. So here it is static. For example, when we define logs, it also corresponds to these two methods. One can be exposed for external use, and the other is only used locally. Obviously, there is a simple example here. Then let's implement it. In this way, here we go to our tag actor. Actually, here it is. We have a tag actor. Right. Then we better do it this way. Let's create a new file here. Create a new file. Why do we need to create a new file? Actually, it's the same as how we write our logs. It's essentially the same. Because if you expose it, other places might also need to use this file. So it's actually a shared file. That's why we need to create it. And similarly, here, we need to give it a GitTip. Then at this point, let's refresh it. Then note that if you want to use this, you need to include the corresponding modules. We will see it shortly. Let's wait patiently for this refresh. You can see it is actually here. It generates some of our intermediate data. Okay, then here we override it. We localize the positioning. Personally, I like to paste this in here. We didn't write the copyright here because it's not very strict. So we didn't write it. If you are a standard Unreal Engine Marketplace plugin, you must include this copyright. We can talk about it later. A packaging process for standard plugins. In this case, okay, let's try to compile, see if it can pass. Obviously, this should be H. Okay? Obviously, it should work now. Surprisingly, the compilation didn't pass here. Let's see what went wrong. Let me take a look. Let me check what's wrong with this stain. This issue seems to be just a warning. Actually, there's no problem. Maybe it's just that the file needs to be refreshed after adding something. Then we'll implement it on our end. We need to include this gameplay text. That's simple. We need to use it in the game module. We put this here. We can just include it directly in the public folder. Let's include it here. Okay, after including it, we go to this location. Then we include this header file. Let's see if we can include it directly. It can be included directly. That proves it's okay. Then we declare our log here. Then we change this part. I'm afraid it might conflict with something in the engine. We might need to press enter twice here. Right. Pressing enter is to keep this file compatible. Some files may require you not to press it like this later. Then, for our definition here, we can actually here, this is for us to use. This is actually for us to use, and this is the common code. This corresponds to it in Flam. Let's change it. Catchy mode. Let's give it a coding. Then let's paste it here and change this here too. Xtmod coding. For our tags, we will use coding. Coding tag. Okay, this one has comments. We can write one without comments. Same as before. Let's call it working. Okay, work. Then here, we just paste it. Okay. So now we have two tags. And actually, at this point, we can use it inside of this. Then we use it in this tagger. Then we write another one here. A static approach like this. We used it, and for static, we might need to include this header file at this position. But actually, we can include it like this, because we want this actor to be able to import some of our tags for use. So including it here is sufficient. Including it right here is enough. And you can see it will pass several things here. Take a look. This part looks a bit uncomfortable, right? But just do a global search. Let's see if it's used anywhere. You'll see it likes to start with 贴机 here. Then just add this thing here. Then we can just write it normally. Let's take a look. We call it XGamodel. Let's call it IDL. Okay, after that, it just won't display the character directly. We call it XG. UPROPERTY. Okay. Now we have this tag. Okay, let's take a look first what it looks like in Blueprint. When we go to our editor, then you will find there is a shag and model here because it prompts you that this tag comes from this module. You will find that there are 3 tags like this, and the way they are declared is static and external, or the actual way of declaring it. You see? Right? Okay, next, let's do a simple application in C++. So how do we use it? First, we definitely need a container. Then we can add, modify, or delete these tags within the container. We can add, modify, or delete these tags within the container. So in our code, if we wanted to have a container, we write it at this position. Here, let's paste this over. We want it to be a container. We want him to place multiple such tags. Right. Then we are here. Here we give him a mypig container. Then we give him a upper pause here. It's best to do it like this pad. Let's see if we can directly reflect it back. It seems so. Reflection is supported because here it has a blueprint type. You can see that. So here we give it blueprint readable and writable. And EditAnywhere. Choreograph we give it an XT. Then mainly through C++, we do it in BeginPlay. We can perform some operations. For example, now we want to add some tags to it, right? Then how to add them is actually very simple. There is an AddTag here. You can see it, or append, but append is a container for appending. We'll just use add here. AddTag, we'll add an F here. You can see what its comment is. You can see there is tag to add. Let's look at its header file. This adds the specific tag. Okay, then here, we'll do it right here. GameplayTag. We can request it like this. AddTag. We need to request it like this. Here there is a require gameplay tag. We can directly request it. Just one, just don't count it in, then we know that gang, this tag should definitely exist. We just need to add the shotgun tag to it. Okay, actually, there is a detail here. That is, the tag you added, it must be present. If you don't have it, there will be a problem with this item. Yeah, it might just be missing. That is to say, this gameplay tag requires a global registration. That's why I emphasized to you earlier that you shouldn't casually write such a tag dynamically. You need to implement it yourself in the editor, IIA, or in C++ code. Okay, then on our end, actually, you should be able to write it like this too. It should be fine. Write it like this. This place should be directly replaced. It should also be fine, because it actually gives you a replacement for me like this. Gameplay tag. You can use it directly. This is also completely fine. This place doesn't seem very convenient to use this XG, right? Let's change it. Let's change it to XX. Change it to X. Change this side to X as well. Then we put it here. Then let's go take a look at what's inside our blueprint. What kind of state it's in right now. It needs to be inside BeginPlay. Only then will it be added. So we are in. So in the editor, it might not be visible. You can see. Okay, and now it's not him. We are this. It should be in this tag area. We create a class. We give it a big key. Next time, Tiger, then we put it into this tag. You see, we have already written a lot of content. Okay, no problem. You see, here we have XG. You see, it's empty. Let's add a magic to it. No problem at all. Add a magic file. And then here, right here, we drag it in. Let's take a look. Let's run it here. This is our previous breakpoint. We haven't changed the map yet. It's okay. I'll adjust it again later. We'll find him. You'll see that this tag has been added. Right? This is very interesting. This is very practical. I'll delete this object. Let's switch to another map. It should be placed here, inside. Well, let's just put it here then. Putting it here shouldn't affect everyone. Actually, this is a very simple and practical gameplay tag. But actually, let's continue looking further. Look here. Then this has tag, has many, has all. As for this thing, we probably don't need to demonstrate it to you anymore, because this part is the same as in Blueprint. In BeginPlay, you see this place, click on a child. See, it's the same. There's no value in demonstrating this. As for this, I personally think it should be more or less the same. Everyone can just practice it. We'll skip this part. We will no longer go through each API step by step, like we did before, or in the previous sessions, with a one-to-one hand-holding approach. We will just emphasize the key points. This part can match completely without any issues. These are some queries. You can create a QR. This QR is more complex than this one. It involves more complex queries, and this logic is very easy to use. We have implemented this in Blueprint. There's nothing more to say about it. It's the same at the C++ level, and this is our restriction. We also skipped it. Then mainly, we will explain to everyone what this interface is. This interface, we need to paste it in. It seems to have lagged a bit here. I'll paste it in. Mainly, I need to explain this interface to everyone, because in Lua here, we can take a look. You can see we paste it from there. Now let's close it. Then we can actually rewrite this interface here. Obviously, at this point, there is a position issue. Let's see where it is. It is in GameplayTags at this interface here. Then what we need is to include this component. We can see that it seems This location seems to be inside the ending class. Let's see if we can directly include it. Let's try. Okay, directly included. Then let's see that it requires us to override the GetOwnedGameplayTag function. Let's look at the signature of this function. GetOwnedGameplayTag here. GetOwnedGameplayTag. Okay, it returns a reference here. You can see there are also some override methods. Then let's flip it over. Notice that its permission is a protected one. So let's also put it under this protected permission. It should be right. Then put this here. All right. Then let's write its implementation. Okay, then let's look at its comment. Actually, what does this function do? It gets all the tags on this asset. Then how do we do this part? It's actually very simple. You can just return all of its tags. We can see this part of Lyra. It inherits from actor. It's very similar to us, right? Then here it has a get open tags. And here there is also this. You can see directly open tags. This part is equivalent to, you can also configure some things here. So actually this part is very simple. We just do it like this. We call it open tags. Then through this interface, we might have many containers. We can add another container. So this is my tag container. Then we might buy a institute, hold a container. Then we take this container and append it as well. Of course you can write it like this, it's fine, because when you design it this way, it's convenient for you to manage. But if you need to get all of them, you can do it this way. Then let's look at this interface in Blueprint. We've entered its blueprint here. In this blueprint, right? Then we go in here, and actually we have a GetOwnedGameplayTag. It's this one, right? You see, it's an interface, and this place will return a container. Then we can delay it. We need to delay it. We delay it by 0.2 seconds. This is mainly to ensure the execution of BeginPlay, because in CI we need to write BeginPlay. Why do we need to delay here? Actually, the reason is quite simple, because this super BeginPlay. You know, inside this super BeginPlay, here you have super BeginPlay. Then it has something called reserve BeginPlay. It's quite obvious. Obviously, this blueprint of yours, its BeginPlay execution takes priority over yours. This was written later by everyone. Then you can do this. You can move these two lines up. But we usually don't do this. That is, we still keep it below here. So here we need to wait. And then do our delay task. Then we can see if we can stream it. It doesn't seem to work well. We can have it mod this tag. This tag, let's see the tag we gave it in BeginPlay. It seems to be the XX tag. We give it something like this. Let's print it. Let's also print it at the beginning. We'll print it later. This way, your contrast will be stronger. And then obviously, here in this place, in cast city, in cast the force, there are two, right? You can add another one. That's also perfectly fine. Do a good job of category management, right? Then let's print this out. Obviously, the first one is force, then true. You can see it's obvious that we loaded the wrong level. This point does not affect it is what it is. You see, that concludes our demonstration of tags. There are many of them. We will show you how to use them later in the actual practice. Just don't think of it as too difficult. It is a very good, easy to understand composite string. and it has a container. Also, there is the concept of single and multiple. And within the single part, there is a conceptual layering. Alright, we'll stop here. Thank you everyone.